started repairing the HQ, which is going to be necessary if the Wehrmacht player wants to field any more forces or start building up his base again. And of course the American player, who has finally a Trias center at his base. Wow, that took him a while. I'm not so sure what he's gonna be aiming for. I mean, the Tiger is gonna be a pain to kill, and the Tiger is not the only thing that he has to worry about. The Stu is still nearby. The Stormtroopers are not, however, so that may be something that he can be happy for. And of course, there's virtually no Wehrmacht base. Just a bunker remaining, and wow, I didn't notice if that bunker had gone down to the M10s. Actually, when the HQ was destroyed, if that bunker was not up, the game would have ended. Wow, wow, I missed that. But I didn't miss that the Wehrmacht player just captured a forward HQ, which is a safe thing to do given the previous record by the American player base rushing him. He has, by the way, mined the entrance. Actually, not the entrance, the west portion of his base. And some riflemen hit actually those mines. Stu still around, Pioneers still around, repairing both the HQ as well as the Stu. The riflemen, of course, are trying to kill the Pioneers, the repairing Pioneers. I'm not so sure if that's gonna happen, given that the bulk of the Wehrmacht infantry, which of course consists of an MG42 and some Volks, has moved in as well. More mines being hit, more Stu cells being fired, and I'm pretty sure one more rifleman squad is gonna go down to the fire of the Storms, as well as to the fire actually of the Volks. And while this was happening, I heard a squad has gone down. I think I heard a strafe as well, so I'm pretty sure that strafe targeted the repairing Pioneers or something like that, because the other, infantry squads of the Wehrmacht player are still intact. Some sneaky mines repair equipped engineers dig up the eastmost victory point, but that's not going to be an issue for the Wehrmacht player. He just moves in now with his single Volks and the MG42 to cap it back, and the single M10 into the American player's base. Tries to take on the Stu. The Stu, however, is being microed, does not have any damaged engine or something like that. It's gonna be safe for the time being. And once again, the American player tries to take down the Wehrmacht HQ. However, unless the retreating engineer spotted the forward HQ, I would say it's kind of futile of him to try to take down the HQ and or the bunker, since the game will not end, even if he does so, with the presence of the FHQ on the field. So, the game has turned kind of weird at this moment. M10, by the way, going down to the fire of the Geschutzwagen and the Tiger. And the US player better not go into one M10 rushes syndrome. If he wants to move out with tanks once again, he will have to wait. He does have fuel at his disposal. He does have munitions at his disposal. Victory point wise, he's not so pressed, standing at 250 right now, so I would say to him, take your time, unless you absolutely have to move out, which of course would be the case if the Wehrmacht player actually moved out himself with his tanks. MG42 now has set up in the east, protecting the victory point there. Middle victory point 2 is once again protected by the Tiger. Some Storms with MB44, once again, some Volks. And of course the quick path from the center of the map towards the base of the Wehrmacht player, I guess gives him a feeling of safety against any base rushing ideas by the American player. And not only that, I guess he will be mining his base once again. I can spot a couple of mines. 1, 2. Yep. So yeah, he's even salvaging the wrecks of the M10s. Probably is going to have even more munitions at his disposal. 2 M10s now out by the American player, and he seems to be waiting for more, since the tank depot, the graphics indicate that something is being built. Tiger and the Gesichtswagen kind of advancing towards the west, trying to scout, I guess, the American player's forces. 2 M10s firing on the church that is occupied by some folks. Not gonna happen. Nothing gonna happen there. Engineers with riflemen moving in. They're gonna hit a mine. Good mine right there. And a retreat by the engineers. Riflemen still around. 3rd M10 out. Some stormtroopers trying to, I guess, make their way towards the strategic point and decap it. And yeah, that is what's gonna happen. The M10s promptly respond. It's gonna move in, try to attack the stormtroopers and force them to retreat, which did happen. More harassment in the north by those riflemen. But harassment alone is not gonna be enough. The American player will have to sooner or later make a move towards the center of the map and try to recapture at least one of the victory points, because eventually what the Wehrmacht player has to do right now is stall for the victory points to go down. Well, if I were him, I wouldn't risk it as well. I mean, why risk it? It's really not necessary. He does know that the American player will probably have a lot of M10s, so why move out with a single Tiger and a Gesichtswagen? You never know what you're gonna come across. Maybe some mines, maybe that single rifleman squad with the Tigers, maybe even more M10s that you would think there are. So it's pretty cool to stay back. You know, he's safe from base rushing, not only because he's repaired his HQ and he has his Kampfkraft center as well as his bunker still standing, but also because of the HQ, the forward HQ as well. His infantry is more than enough to take on those 2 engineers and a single rifleman squad, and his tanks are gonna be effective as long as the Tiger and Gesichtswagen stay together, and the 80 gun, the American 80 gun that he captured, is still around. However, 4 M10s now out by the American player, and even more coming. I'm not so sure. I mean, if he moves out with 5 M10s, he may be able to break the Wehrmacht armor. We'll have to wait and see. We are, of course, at the 38-minute mark, and not much to talk about. I'm pretty sure I have analyzed the situation as best as I could. Strong infantry presence by the Wehrmacht player. Kind of not sure what to say about their armor counterparts. However, 5 M10s against a Tiger and a Gesichtswagen and an AT gun. Not so sure. Although the Tiger and the Gesichtswagen are at veterans level 3, and there are surely some mines lying around by the Wehrmacht player, 5 M10s are a lot of M10s. Engineers and riflemen once again trying to poke into the forces of the Wehrmacht player near the center of the map. Not gonna get any glimpse other than a Vet 3 Tiger standing there. A Vet 3 Tiger, of course, with 2 tank kills and 5 infantry kills. Not much of a combat record, but surely the presence of it alone is enough to discourage the American player from being that aggressive. Now the M10s actually move in, however, one of them quickly goes down to the Gesichtswagen as well as the AT gun, and the rest of them continue to move in. Hit mines, that M10 rush didn't seem to work, and from that last move by the American player, I'm pretty sure he has not seen the forward HQ by our Wehrmacht player. So I think this is GG for the American player. He even lost his engineers. His Vet2 Storms are probably gonna kill the riflemen, the retreating riflemen. I'm not so sure if they're gonna get. Actually, forget what I said. Riflemen are gonna go down. No infantry left for the American player. Still 4 M10s, however, for him. They're gonna destroy the comfort center, probably gonna destroy the bunker, probably gonna destroy the base HQ. However, the forward HQ is still safe. There's even a repair bunker there, which counts as a building, of course. So the game is not gonna end even if the base is destroyed. Paratroopers being dropped as well. Not so sure if they threw a charge in there, towards the American player, the Wehrmacht player's HQ. More stormtroopers in the field, upgraded this time with Panzerschrecks. MG still protecting the East Victory Point. The rest of the stormtroopers, as well as the Volks, have capped the west portion of the map. Now the map is in the control of the Wehrmacht player, and and the only hope for the American player is that by destroying that HQ, he will win the game. However, he will soon realize that that is not going to be the case. One more M10 goes down to the fire of the Tiger and the Gesichtswagen. The remaining 2 M10s that still linger in the now destroyed Wehrmacht player's base are going to actually be killed pretty shortly. And the 1 M10 that kind of left them there to die and moved towards the west portion of the map is most probably even gonna die to a Panzerfaust, I would say. You won't be seeing any of that, however, anytime soon. The 2 M10s have gone down into the Wehrmacht player's base. Retreating paratroopers nearly got killed by some pioneers. That would be funny to see. So yeah, the game has pretty much been decided, and at this point, what I have to say about the whole game, of course, I think the most crucial observation is that the American player did not really dealt early with those 2 snipers by the Wehrmacht player. Those 2 snipers and the manpower drain they inflicted on the American player were more than enough to give Marinez not only the map control that he wanted, but also the luxury of not feeling the early game American pressure. He then was easy for him to take up to tier 3. Get a proactive, I would say, Gesichtswagen out in case any armor, any vehicles were coming by the American player, and then of course get his Pumas, his Storms with the MP44s, and the rest of his forces. And of course, although at some point the base rush by the American player seemed like a good thing, eventually what happened is that he overinvested in it, and he lost a lot of units, and he did not even consider the possibility of the Wehrmacht player getting a bunker somewhere else, or even an HQ, a forward HQ, so that even if he destroyed his base, he would still be able to continue in the game. Kind of a late retreats as well in there. A couple of rifleman squads dying, as well as some paratroopers. Strafes that were not that devastating as you would think, although there were times that took down stormtroopers, whole squads of stormtroopers, as well as sniper and MG42. But as I said, the really late armor by the American player and the fact that he did not deal with snipers early gave ample time to the Wehrmacht player to field whatever he wanted. And whatever he wanted, of course, was a strong mid game with vehicles and vehicle veterancy, and of course, the kind of an easy defending of the central portion of the map, since those riflemen could not go anywhere near it to cap the victory point. So, all in all, I would say it was a funny game at times and kind of interesting at other parts, especially with the base rush. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, actually, I don't hope, I'm sure there are a lot of casts about on the tournament game, so you make sure you go and check them out on the shoutcast forum over at gamereplays.org. There are lots of casts and probably lots of good games. And my feeling is, although I did play in the tournament, although I went out early to the number one seed nonetheless, Tomitoma, so I'm not feeling so bad about it. My feeling is that there are not really gimmicky opening strats or whatever at this particular patch and this particular revision of the patch. So the games at least are gonna be surely different. Gonna be based much on what skill each player has, and as I said, I don't think there are lots of gimmicky stuff that players can do. So go check out those great games and the cast that will be coming with them. I'm Armor KG, and I hope you enjoy the tournament. And that's all. Bye bye.